interesting that in the midst of people being like, oh, well, COVID's over. Okay, let's just go up to the north to Canada, right? Canada, as I mentioned in the last episode, was that the 5 eyes are good indicators of what's going to happen in the United States. The UK, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and I would even include Israel. I think I might have said that maybe twice. Who knows why? But and also the United States were sort of this conglomerate of, you can sort of look to the intelligence and war communities in each of the countries. Now, we do know that there's some of those countries that are less susceptible to public criticism, and that's for whatever reason. You would know that if you're up to no good, then you probably wouldn't want to be publicly criticized, because then you could be found out. However, some of the other countries are a little more blatant, and it's not a problem to, let's say, scrutinize Canada, because it's cool to hate on white people, and Canada is a traditionally white country. That being said, shout out to all the based Punjabs and based Sikhs. I'm not even joking, though, that we're all out there on the convoy protests out in Canada. That was all the based Indian and freaking Sikh truck drivers. Very cool. Love you guys.
Indians are capitalists. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, they like their money, and they didn't like the fact that a lot of them, like, they run hotels, that kind of stuff, and they work. That's the thing. They're not a lazy demographic of people. They like to work. And I'll give them that. Actually, they're outworking the American working class. That's why they hire them, because they'll work twice as long for half as much. And yeah, they're people who wanted to work. I remember the Canadian trucker convoy. That was epic. That was so epic. They had Trudeau shaking in his boots. And I love to see, like, patriotic people, like, rise up, organize, get mobilized. Now, eventually there were people who, like, infiltrated the movement because it was so effective, and ended up kind of dismantling it. But, I was proud. You know what I'm saying? I was proud of those people. And we did have it in the United States as well. Also sabotage. There's people that try to monetize everything and infiltrate, and, they're put there to disrupt any kind of effort to mobilize, organize, and actually impact change. It always happens.
No, and I know that for a fact, because I always tell people that too. Like, I'll have a really good, I'll find an alternative platform like Telegram, which you can follow me, t.me/slightly offensive. Lauren WITZKE is also on there as well. You can find the link in the description. But you go out there and you try to go on, and you have all these random Anon accounts posting swastikas and all this stuff. Because why? It's because, well, it's against Telegram's, terms of service to be posting what they call hate imagery. I don't invent these terms. You can shoot the messenger. It's just what they call it. And then they come in and they try to co-opt it so that a social media site like Daily Beast or a scam artist like BuzzFeed will come in and go, oh, look, Elijah's a Nazi. Oh, look, Lauren WITZKE's a Nazi. There's swastikas. And it's like, they're not even our followers. We don't even know who that is. Our followers are much more intelligent, smarter people. They don't even do that stuff as a joke, because they understand the severity of what's going on in the world and how that we need to approach this. We can't sit around just dicking around when we have places like Canada, as mentioned earlier, that you think is letting go of their COVID policies, but just banned handguns, the import and the sale of handguns, is implementing a digital ID system, and I bring that up genuinely. They're pushing a digital ID system, testing it from the World Economic Forum out of Davos. Klaus Schwab has them testing this digital ID. We talked about with Maria Z from Australia on the last episode, but it's like they're just preparing for the next attack, for the next brutality. They've eased off because they saw where they were weak, and that's fundamental to understand. We think we won. All we showed them is where they haven't won yet.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but, the mark of the beast system, it's right there in the Bible. It's real. I believe that I don't believe like any of the stuff that they actually like implemented, like the mandates or anything were like mark of the beast. However, I think this was a test run. I think it was round one. And we don't know what's, what they have in store for us next, and they're slowly but surely taking away our rights, making things illegal to say, but they can't technically make them illegal. So they figured out other ways to do it. So, they track they track what you're looking at, researching what you're saying, and then they punish you in other ways, like as in they shut down your bank accounts. I had my bank account shut down. Wells Fargo shut it down after I had the audacity to run for office in 2020. I was in 17 hours away from my home. I had one card. I didn't have a lot of money. It's not like I had a ton of money in the bank and I was like potentially could plot any. No, they just took my money and shut me down. And I had to have my mom wire me money out in Florida, and I was 17 hours away from my home. And it was just, they figure out other ways to punish you. They're using the corporations, they're weaponizing corporations to enforce laws that they can't enforce themselves because they're protected by the United States Constitution, one being freedom of speech. We can't take away your speech, but we can weaponize the court system against you. We can weaponize the banking system against you. There's a plethora of other ways for them to punish us for speaking out in ways that they don't like. And that's very real. It's very true.
Yeah, and it is here. It says, shockingly enough, you have to check this out. Digital ID is coming to Canada, bringing with it a host of questions and even some concerns from privacy advocates. Many provinces and the federal government have launched digital ID initiatives to simplify and secure access to government services. They regard digital ID as an essential part of transforming service delivery in the digital era. Statistics indicate that the public is overwhelmingly supportive of digital ID. Still, these initiatives have their critics. And I love when they post the fact of their assaults on our liberty, right? That their last siege we should forgive and forget. They may have taken the Alamo once and killed our fellow men. You know how many people they literally killed with the lockdowns? More people, I believe, young people, than died from any other type of source. And you can connect the dots. The amount of people that came in from fentanyl, because there was a lack of proactive policing, and we have this new organized fentanyl crime network going on. It is so funny that they go, oh, you're the ones who were mad because, you're a critic of digital ID. No, we're a critic of police states. We're a critic of totalitarian countries, of tyrannical governments, having a kill switch, a shut-off switch to exit us out of the economy. And then they go, aren't you a conspiracy theory? You go, no, fuck you. I lived in 2020. I lived in 2021. Don't call me an extremist. Don't call me a right-wing nut job. Don't call me any of these things that you think a conspiracy theorist is going to label me. It's going to demoralize me, because those days of being demoralized by name calling are over. I see your trickery. I know what's going on. It's not enough to focus on one country. It's not just happening in Israel. It's not just happening in Australia. It's not just happening in the United States. This is a global connection, from Lula winning the presidency, winning in Brazil. They are interconnecting and establishing a degradation of sovereignty among countries and creating an interconnected state. They want a global currency, a global ID, and a global kingdom that will be set up on the Temple Mount. It's predicted in Revelation, and if there's any way the world's going, I don't think there's any reason to argue with that.
Yeah, and they'll try to say, well, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. That's simply not true. I mean, the word of God is eternal. He kind of lays it out there as a warning to Christians, like, hey, be on the lookout, because when this starts happening and you start seeing this, you will know that you're in the end of days. Digital ID is just a pathway. It's implementing policies that will eventually end with mark of the beast system, where, hey, you can't even go out to eat or go grocery shopping without getting your passport or your digital ID. It's ingrained inside you. I don't know if that's going to be how it goes, but I know that I'm having a look at the times. I'm watching these global leaders get lined up. This isn't a joke, folks. It's really happening. They just ousted Bolsonaro, and he won every district except for one. And it was the most corrupt district. There was a lot of money. They were buying votes. There was a lot going on there. But now there's, they're putting their people into place. It's like chess, and they're preparing. And, like I said before, the New World Order seemed like such a foreign concept back in 2018. That changed so quickly. And, it was amazing how quickly it changed. I think maybe Donald Trump had a little something to do with that, where they were so pissed off that we, the people, elected somebody, they took out their revenge on us. And it could be that. I could just be, but I felt like he started a fire in we the people. Whether you like him or not, the movement that he started was real. And, and it just seems like they're removing the ones they don't like, and they're establishing the ones they do like. And, we are reading the book of, like you read the book of Revelations, and it talks about the times, the plagues, the rumors of wars, the food shortages, that kind of thing. And we're walking in those times, and that's very real.
And guys, before we go any further into this, I got to remind you that we don't have control over a lot of our lives, including our finances. Remember, they ruined the US dollar, inflation that we've never seen. Even North Korea launched dozens of rockets. They said the most aggressive move since 1953. Things are unstable, which is why I got to let you guys know you have to invest in yourself by getting gold and silver and diversifying your portfolio and hedging against the future with my friends at GoldCo. GoldCo has created a great plan for the slightly offensive backers, the SOBs. When you click the link in the description, when you call 855-242-4758, we are creating a parallel alternate economy where we are supporting ourselves in a world that doesn't support us. And the way we do that is taking responsibility. Right now, when you call 855-242-4758, you can get up to $10,000 in free silver. If you have money saved, if you have money set aside, if you have something you want to invest, your dollar is not where to put it. You need to get assets. You need to diversify, but most importantly, my friends at GoldCo will help you by clicking the link in the description, calling 855-242-4758 to find out how you can protect your valuable money that you earned, that you put aside, and that you're going to lose because of powers that be just want to delete the notes. They just want to delete the numbers and somehow reset the economy. No. Don't let them do that. Call GoldCo right now and find out how you can protect your retirement, your savings, and also invest in your future. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 855-242-4758.